Hi, citizens. Part three of the Red Pill Show trilogy with Satoshi. He'll probably be coming back soon, actually. So contact us with questions via the email address below, and he'll probably answer them for you. The BRICS group of nations have
Yep.
recently had a conference and invited some more members.
Mm.
A lot out of Africa, United Arab Emirates, I think, one or two others. How do you see that affecting the worldwide economy, the threat to the US dollar, which is worthless anyway, and Bitcoin SV in itself?
Mm. Well, I mean, again, I think in terms of its purpose, um, it's good in the fact that these countries are have acknowledged that there is a serious problem that needs fixing. But what they've really done is they've kind of like fought fire with fire. Yeah, they're just like, all right, well, they control this securities fraud. We're going to create our own securities fraud, but we're at least going to try and back it with assets.
So
You
you
know,
think do you think the BRICS will be another securities fraud? I haven't heard this before because from what I understand that they're going to back it up with each country's own resources. And
well,
that,
the thing is, when you just simply manufacture a currency, um, once you've manufactured a token, that is it. You have to create more of it as the economy grows, and creating more of anything is just simply counterfeiting. So you're still faced with the same problem that you're using a medium of exchange that's going down in value the more they print. This is the issue with all currency. You know, so I mean, they just, and again, what network are they going to use in order to transport this BRICS currency around the world? How are they going to perform global trade? At the moment, the central banking network have got a monopoly on the SWIFT system. You know, so what are they going to do? They literally, and again, this is what makes me laugh. The only network that is capable of being used as a global medium of exchange is the Bitcoin BSV network. That's it. So really what they would be better off doing is building bricks as a CBDC on top of BSV, and then saying, look, each of these tokens is
hmm.
is is backed by a particular weight in a precious metal or other resource or something like that. But really, if they want to conduct global trade with bricks, the only network that is capable of doing that is the Bitcoin network.
And without that, there would be a central point of control anyway, wouldn't there? Which could
Yeah,
be compromised, well, it's open to corruption by the
yeah,
nature of the central point of control.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they'd. Whereas at the moment, they're attacking the pipelines like Nord Stream and all of that. All they'd be doing is attacking each other's server network. Trying to locate a server, bomb it, blow it up. You know,
Yeah, all air traffic control went down the other day.
did it? Whoa, whoa.
Oh, hours and hours and hours and hours. But we're not supposed to fly after 2030. All airports are shut, so get used to it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Again, air traffic control needs to run on Bitcoin. You know.
Yeah. Well, somebody had, well, I don't know the truth of it, but apparently, well, it looks like some kind of a hack, but whether it's a deliberate ploy by the establishment with a view
I'm
to promoting that a longer term agenda running up to 2030.
I'm absolutely sure it was. No, I don't think any coincidence is a coincidence these days. I mean, what a coincidence. They're talking about stopping people flying, causing travel chaos. Oh, look at that. The the airline industry, seems to have gone down. Oh, it's developed. I'm surprised they didn't use the word glitch, because that's what they always call it. Oh, I had a glitch. Did it now? What a load of crap.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like it, but that Katie Hopkins had a good rant about it the other day. I mean, she used to come out with some outrageous stuff years ago, probably to gain notoriety.
Yeah.
But last few years, she's been very anti-lockdown and anti-establishment, and she seems reasonably awake now to me.
Yeah, I would absolutely completely agree with your analysis of that. I think initially when she was writing for newspapers and all that, I think now looking back, she was purposely being controversial just to get views and all this kind of stuff. And to be honest with you, I was just like, fucking hell, I don't like her. She's horrendous. Like the stuff she was saying was just so pointless.
I can't stand that woman. I can't stand that woman. And then she starts making sense.
Yeah, she's really come into her own, calling out the hypocrisy and the lies in this. So, yeah, good on her. Good on her.
Yeah. But no, I agree 100%. I think 80% of it was probably just a thing to get her face around on the TV and in the media. She wanted to be famous. So she said something that made her famous. It worked, to be fair. We wouldn't be sat talking about her now, years later, otherwise, when she's now talking about her actual views.
She wouldn't have a presence without that first few years where she thought, I can take all the hate. I'm going to annoy everybody.
She gave her views and opinion. A lot of people didn't agree with it, but then now...
Well, I think the views and opinions that she gave were just simply purposefully controversial and provocative. I think she knew what she was doing, and to be honest with you, she's kind of like, anybody wants to get famous, you just sort of make some remark, knowing that it's gonna, get some attention and all that. But to be honest with you, I think she was, now looking back, I think she's just, really she's clearly intelligent, very switched on, has got a lot of common sense. So somebody with that much common sense to see the bullshit and the lies that's actually going on, to be making those kind of like controversial comments previously, they were clearly just provocative for the purpose of being provocative and nothing more.
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree.
Yeah, that thing.
She's got long-term health issues. Well, she was what do you call it, epileptic. She had an operation on her brain to change things somewhat, and maybe that's what's given her a bit more sense. Who knows? But apparently she claims she's got a bit of a hole in the back of her head where they went in.
Yeah.
Which she covers up with hair, but obviously she's vulnerable. Anyway, enough about her. That might turn into a little short about Katie
Hopkins there.
Yeah, she's on trend, isn't she? I think, have we covered everything? I think we probably have, haven't we? Is there anything we've missed?
There's something I'd like to ask.
Oh, go on.
You do talks. Obviously, that's how Tids knows you. Through that. At what stage do you go, do you know what? Because it's got to take some bottle to make that decision to go and speak to a crowd of people. It's not something you just wake up and go, do you know what? I'm going to go speak to a load of people. You must have, did something inspire you, or was it just something you naturally wanted to do?
It certainly wasn't something that I naturally wanted to do. It was just sheer desperation, because I knew that no one knew this. Literally no one, and I could just see them go. I mean, literally every person they inject, is a person that I think is, I thought back then, and probably might still do, just drop dead later on. Yeah, they're literally just poisoning them. And it was just heartbreaking for me. And I was just like, you know what? I mean, with the amount of knowledge that I had, I was like, where do I start? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to make a documentary on this. And then hopefully that documentary will give me some credibility. And then from that credibility, some people might start listening to me. And then, I'll just sort of like do a talk and just, It was just sheer desperation, to be honest with you. That was it.
So you were frustrated at the fact that you knew what was going off and you wanted to just let people know what was going on.
Oh yeah. I was in an absolute panic. I was having night sweats and panic attacks and like all sorts. You know, I mean, especially my entire family's jabbed. You know, and there was nothing I could say to do or stop them, and it was horrendous. You know, and then I thought, right, well, you know, I can't save my own family, but maybe I can save someone else's.
Yeah, good. Yeah. My lad, I'm a single bloke, but I've got a lad. And he doesn't live with me. He lives 100 miles away. And I messaged him early on, say, whatever you do, as they were approaching his age group, in his 20s, don't have this jab. It's an experiment. I suspect it may be dangerous. And he says, too late. They brought me forward. They offered it to me because I'm asthmatic.
Ugh.
Fuck all I can do now, except hope for the best. He threatens me with grandchildren, but teasingly I said, it can never be any grandchildren. You've had that many jabs, you'll be sterile now.
Anyway, it's in the fine print on the syringe that, you know.
But Dr. McCulloch, he's recently released a protocol for detoxing from the spike protein within the last few days. What it seems to say is if you had absolutely no side effects when you were jabbed, be it once or twice or 3 times, then you might get away with it. But for those that did have sore arms, flu-like symptoms, and other things,
basically side effects.
Side effects. Then there's a protocol to help them recover. Dr. Peter McCulloch, that people can look him up. I might be saying it, I pronounce it McCulloch, but it might be McCulloch. O-U-G-H. Yeah, people can look him up in their own time if they're worried about side effects. So I'm hoping a lot of people got placebos, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, what they keep talking about, you know, reducing the population by 10% and blah 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 blah. So, you know, I hope that maybe, you know, only maybe 10%. You know, I mean, because if you killed everybody all at once, again, as one of the doctors pointed out, you'd be able to pin the, you know, you'd be able to pin it on the poison. You know, you could see where it was. So
it'd be obvious, wouldn't it? But if you died later in 5 years or something from side effects, and we've got what do you call it, turbo cancer amongst other things now.
Yeah, you got turbo cancer, prion disease, heart attack. You know.
Yeah.
Liver and kidney failure, whatever. There's always produced. Well, it does all sorts. You know, I actually think one of the things that they're injecting people with that enables these varied ailments is parasites. I think they've known that for a long time because a parasite, you know, can cause multiple sclerosis. It can cause brain damage. You know, attacks your central nervous system, it creates autoimmune diseases, causes cancer, you know, so that would explain, you know, why all these people are developing these various ailments.
And myocarditis, pericarditis. Yeah, and possible, well, people have looked at vials under the microscope and found massive quantities of graphene oxide, which would appear to possibly self-assemble once it gets into the body, help transport things. And it's all horrible. So we want to help people, don't we? And we don't support massive... Look, if there's a legitimate argument that there are too many people in the world, then I've no objections to an open discussion with the people. But just doing it behind the people's back decided by people flying around in private jets, telling us that we're responsible for climate change. I'm just flipping not having it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Right, brilliant, Toshi. Thanks very much. Well, that's the end of our trilogy on the Red Pill Show with Satoshi. He's agreed to come back. I know there was a lot to digest, so get your questions in. And I'm going to make one important point here. I see a lot of truther people getting interested in the quantum financial system, QFS. I sniffed a rat, I had a word with him, and it's confirmed my suspicions. It's a load of bollocks. So by all means have a look at it, but he's going to come back and get into that as well. So warning against QFS, because you truthers, I know you're awake, but you're easily duped because you're looking for solutions. So we don't want you sidetracked. Okay? Get your questions in, and we'll see you soon. Might be a few weeks when Toshi comes in, so just get them bobbed in. We'll get round to them.